guys, and welcome back to the Movie Club Emporium. And we're in our third week. It's the fourth week. It's the dog days of the summer block party staycation 2025. And this time, we are going all the way back to 1975 to tell you why you should stay home with a really wild movie, Race with the Devil, directed by Jack Starlett, mostly known for an actor. He was in Blazing Saddles. He's also the mustachioed police officer in First Blood. Starring Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, and Loretta Swit, who is really good in this movie, but also really weird because as a child who grew up with grandparents who watched Nick at Night religiously, she'll always be Hot Lips from MASH to me. But this is not that. This is a complete and total satanic panic flick from the 1970s, and it is insane because it is part satanic panic, it is part Fury Road, and this may be the most horrifying thing to ever happen in an RV since that weird National Lampoon's Vacation reboot. But this movie has a really cool opening, and then you see Peter Fonda on a motorcycle because, I don't know if you know this, but Peter Fonda was in Easy Rider, and so motorcycles will be involved. And then it's him and Warren Oates and their best buds, and them and their two wives. Surprisingly, they're not a swinging couple because, number one, before we even get to the dark arts of this movie, an RV couples vacation, hard pass. And we're driving from like South Texas to Colorado to go skiing, absolutely not. Although, and I said it way back in week 1, as much as I enjoyed that weird, trashy 90s RV, the 70s RV is kind of legit. And they will not stop telling you how cool it is because it has not only a microwave, but an enclosed oven. And you bet your bottom dollar it's got orange shag carpet. But no, we are driving this big old rig through Texas. And we stop one night because Texas is, I don't know if you know, this is a real big state. So we stop and decide to pull off at a camping site. No. At a KOA? Absolutely not. Just a dirt road out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And of course we had to park our RV down the hill from this giant tree on a hillside in the middle of nowhere that is specifically for satanic black masses and human sacrifices. Now, I will also tell you this. 20 minutes in, we have full frontal nudity. Hello, 1970s PG. And we see some bad things going on. And they made the classic mistake of our two male leads watching this happen very intently through binoculars, only for their women to come out and start yelling their names loudly into the dark. So they're seen. So they're trying to get away. Spoilers: RVs cannot drive through rivers. I know it's weird, but they can't drive through rivers, and they get busted up, worse for wear, but they do get away from the group, the cult. And then we spend the rest of the movie running from them because I feel like the way this movie ends, I don't think we get very far because we go to the local sheriff's and it's R.G. Bailey, the actor. He's in like Commando. He's in Predator. You'd recognize him the moment you saw him if you watched like movies like this. And then they're just being followed by the cult, and the cult are doing things like putting rattlesnakes in the RV while they're out at a cowboy bar saloon with a weird couple when they stop at an RV park for a bit. This weird couple who's very nosy is totally a swinging couple. Um, but and the part with the rattlesnakes is hilarious because we don't know how rattlesnakes work. Because there is a moment where I'm pretty sure Peter Fonda like fist punches a rattlesnake in the face. Warren Oates is clearly seen bitten in the leg, but I guess it couldn't get through them hard washed Levi's he's wearing because the bite doesn't seem to bother him. And then we're just running, and we think we get away from the Colt, and then we don't. And then it becomes a Mad Max fight at the end where we're shooting guns. There's a scene where they hilarious. Like, go to a store, they're like, things are getting pretty bad. They killed our dog. You know what? We need shotguns. And you can just buy them. I mean, you can still kind of just buy them. This is America. But for real, like, it was just weird. Because the guy was like, you want a handgun too or just a shotgun? And they just take the shotgun. And then it's Fury Road. And they're really not fighting back until... Because these dudes got a couple of dirt bikes strapped to the back of the RV. And you're thinking, oh man, am I going to get to see Peter Fonda fight a Colt on the back of a motorbike? No. They shoot and destroy the motorcycles. And that's when Peter Fonda's like, I've had enough. To a point where this movie goes from just these dweebs trying to take their girl skiing and trying to avoid each other in 10x4 RV to Peter Fonda standing on the top of an RV, recreational vehicle, during a high-speed chase, blasting evil cultists off of the backs of pickups with a shotgun. And it's kind of awesome. And then the movie ends with them trying to get away, and they're like, I think we've made it. You know what? It's starting to get dark. Let's take... No, not the off-ramp. Let's take this gravel road out to the middle of nowhere so we can relax in safety. Only to then see their RV surrounded by fire. And not only that, but every person we've met in the movie, including the sheriffs and the swinging couple, they're all a part of this cult. And it ends with the idea that our two main hero couples are going to be sacrificed and burned alive in their RV. And that's how the movie ends. So again, I say, with an RV, number one, gas mileage. Do you know how expensive gas is now? On top of that, I know Texas is big. But like, you couldn't get out of the 30-mile radius of a satanic cult? That's ridiculous. You should just stay home. Imagine, hey, best friend, you want your wife and my wife, and we'll just load up and Hyundai Santa Fe, and we'll just drive cross country. Doesn't that sound fun? No. Are we going to stay in hotels? Oh no, we're sleeping in this box. No, absolutely not. Do not go on couples vacations in RVs. Do not stay in Texas. Probably not bad advice nowadays. But even more so, stay out of the part of Texas where all the Satanists live. You're not welcome there. They don't want you and your big gas guzzler there. And mind your own business. Stay home and watch movies. Especially movies from the 70s. Because again, this movie is wild and insane. And you know, by the stuntman, people got hurt. People were doing stuff for real. And there's a cowboy bar fight. So, I do recommend Race with the Devil. It is kind of dumb. But it's a fun 70s kind of dumb. And I'm a sucker for weird satanic panic movies. So, it's not the greatest of all these movies because it doesn't have Ernest Borgnine having your goat head. But check out Devil's Reign. But I think you're going to have a good time with it. So, put it on with the party and you guys will have some fun. Maybe for Halloween. But until then, I say adieu to road trip vacations. Absolutely not. There's only one thing worse, though, than fighting the devil on the back highways of America's heartland. All right? And that's staying at a minimum or a maximum 2-star motel. Don't want to do that. That's what we're doing next week because we're talking about vacancy. So come back next week and we're going to wrap up our staycation and why you shouldn't go to motels. Or really, hopefully, ever find yourself in a horror movie between the years of 2003 and 2008. But until next week, do not forget, share and subscribe. If you joined us, what day are we on? Last night, Nick and I did our first live stream, our dual live stream, here on our Twitch channel. We talked about horror remakes. So you want to subscribe, you want to share it, we want to get more people. Next month is going to be a wild live. You're not going to want to miss that. We have a new show that goes up now during the week. Nick's doing his own reviews now. So check out that video when it drops on Wednesday. Post Theater Clarity. It's going to be an awesome time. And do all the YouTube things that helps us all have more fun hanging out together. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.